all the things that I would be. I never really looked out quite that far. It's never been a simple thing to see the world with a young man's brain, with an old man's heart, a restless soul. Yeah, my family went broke my 18th year. Dad took a job many miles from here. That was alright by me, I was on my own. I had a band, found a job, life was alright. I worked when I had to, we played all the time only. Got through that first year of college, alright.
Couldn't ever dawned on me all the things that I would be. I never really looked out quite that far. It's never been a simple thing to see the world with a young man's brain, with an old man's heart, restless soul. That was all right by me. I was on my own, found a job. Life was all right. I worked when I had to, got through that first year of college all right. That's some excerpts from Somewhere in the Middle by Cody Jinks. All right, here we are on Season 2, Episode 3, continuation of my life and some of the events that happened in it. Okay, we got moved out of the motel. We found a rental apartment in Bakersfield, California. We got the drilling rig rigged up about 40 miles west of Bakersfield near a town called Buttonwillow in the middle of the Mojave Desert. Golly, it's hot. It was hot. Anyway, we kind of settled in, got Aubrey enrolled in school, got me working, wife taking care of the children. Now I wasn't working 7 days a week like I was in Oklahoma. We was working 6 days on and 2 days off with a rotational basis, meaning we'd work six days of daylight, 6 days of evening, 6 days of nights. And in between there we'd get 2 days off. And it was, to me, it was awful trying to get your body adjusted to a rotational work and sleep schedule. I didn't know where I was coming or going as far as the work schedule. All I knew when me and my crew would work our shift, we'd always go find us a few beers, drive around and drink a few beers every day before going home. Once we got home, we'd attempt to function a while, go to sleep, and start all over again. Days off usually meant loading the children up and traveling to the beach, Disneyland, the mountains, the lake, wherever a vehicle would take us. And I had more money than I ever thought I'd earn in my life, and me and the wife and children were enjoying that, and was spending it as fast as we was making it. So there wasn't any saving to it. I was too young, too dumb to save any of it. Things were going good, but my biggest weakness was during the week when I was working, whatever time we got off, it didn't matter where it's daylights, evenings, or mornings. Me and the crew was going to find somewhere to go get a few beers and drink before we went home. And that's part of that slippery slope I've been telling you about. The whole time I was out there, I never missed a day of work, and sometimes we'd call it double up. You'd work 2 shifts in a row, get extra money. I was always busy working, but I was still in the back of my mind. I said, "Is this all there is about life?" I was still bitter and angry over the fact that I didn't have an opportunity to, because of my poor decisions, to go to the Air Force Academy and do a whole different way of life than what I was doing. I always had that anger in me, and I didn't pin it up. I was always taking it out on someone. Okay, we California about a year and a half, and the wells we was drilling for Occidental Petroleum weren't performing like they expected. They said when we finished this well that was presently drilling on, that they was going to release a rig. Superintendent came out to location after we finished drilling the well and talked to us, says, "Okay, we got 2 options for you guys. Anybody wants to go to Wyoming and work on a well, or we'll pay you way to go there, or we'll pay you way to get back to Oklahoma." I told him, I said, "I'm not going to work in Wyoming in the wintertime. It's summertime's awesome. Wintertime is terrible." I said, "I'm going to load up and go back to Oklahoma, see what happens when we get back there." So we loaded up. All our world possessions and another U-Haul 24-foot trailer and came back to Oklahoma. I get back to Oklahoma and get situated and pretty much called our company corporate office and told them I was interested in doing international duty if they had any openings, and they said, yes, we do. Come up to Tulsa and we'll visit with you and see what we can do. Well, I go up there and they already had everything in place. Said, go get a medical and you're going to go take some shots like yellow fever, tetanus, typhoid. I don't know how many shots they gave me. My arms was so dang sore that day, and I was, had a little bit of reaction to it, but they told me pretty much that we're going to bring Rig 16 that was in California back to Oklahoma, refurbish it, and get it ready and go to Guatemala. In the meantime, we want you to load up and go to Bolivia in about a month, and you work 28 days on and 28 days off. I said, okay, that's fine with me. I said, just keep me posted, and here we go, and go back home and waiting on the phone call. And they finally, about 30 days later, said, okay, here's your tickets, and here you're going to go to Santa Cruz, Bolivia, work 28 days. We got a couple of rigs there in the yard. You're going to get them ready, and we'll send them out to south of Santa Cruz near the Paraguay-Uruguay border called Porvenir. I said, okie doke. Okay, so now I got my tickets in Oklahoma City. My flight was going from Oklahoma City to Dallas to Miami to Panama City to Santa Cruz, Bolivia. I'd never been international, much less I had some flying time, but wasn't a heck of a lot other than my flying time as a pilot in a Cessna 150 and a Cessna 172. Anyway, we get close to Santa Cruz and we're circling the airport. I look down there and there's Army tanks circling a whole runway on the perimeter. There's jets flying around everywhere. I'm wondering, what in the world have I got myself into? Well, we land. We didn't go to a concourse or anything. We just stopped on the tarmac. They brought a walking stairs up to us and start walking and off the stairs, and there's machine guns going off. The freaking jets are flying around. The tanks are sitting all around. I said, what in the world is going on here? So I go to get my luggage, and the superintendent there, and I said, what in the heck's going on here? He said, well, we're having a coup. Well, I had no idea what a coup was, but it's a government takeover. Rebel groups are trying to take over the country and change leadership. He said, what we'll do is we'll get our stuff and get your luggage, and we'll take you to the hotel, and we'll go from there. So, okay, I'm 20-some years old and didn't know any better, and there's machine guns going off. We're riding in the back of the pickup and, looking at the countryside and city side and all that, and finally get to the hotel. Got all my luggage, and they got me checked in. He says, you stay here. You do not leave the hotel. We will be here when we think the coast is clear enough to start moving our rig. So I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea what I was getting into. And like I said, I stayed in the hotel about 8 or 9 days. Never left the hotel. Just sleep, go down and eat, walk around the hotel interior, and go back to the room and just sit there and listen to machine guns going off all night. All kind of noise going on. Dogs barking, chaos. Yeah, a week goes by and picks me up and said, okay, let's go. We go to the field office where the rigs are. He said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to load these trucks up. We're going to send them to the location. It took us probably 8 or 10 days loading up all the equipment and sending it to Porvenir, which is probably a 2-day drive by vehicle. The roads were terrible. They said once it starts getting down there, we'll fly you down there. There's a little landing strip, and then you'll start rigging up, and here you go. And I just want to remind you guys out there, this was in like 1980. There was no communications like there is today, that you absolutely couldn't use the telephone. No internet, no computers, nothing like that back then. So it was the longest 28 days I ever had in my life. I had no communication with the wife or the children or anything, and all I did was go out and do my work, I'd put an X on the calendar each day and just count my days till I was going back. It was a great learning experience, but it was to me like being in prison, no communications with the ones I cared about the most, and so I had to grind it out. And I'm just I'm 24 years old. It was tough for me. Get a shell shock like that, moving, flying to a country that having a coup. No communication with any family members at all. Working, and most of the natives very few people could speak English, and I could barely speak Spanish, so I had to do the best I could in Spanish. So it was a long 28 days, and finally finish up. And your travel time is on your time, so it's actually about 31 days of being away, and 26 days of being home. So finally make it back home, see the kids and everything, and now I'm making more money than I've ever dreamed of making. Worked 28 days on. I had, 26 days off, and I made the best of it. It was party time again. Just everything that I worked and earned in the 28 days, spent it in the 25 days back home, and here I got to go again, do it all over again. Working about 9 months in Bolivia, and they finally got Rig 16 that was previously in California, refurbished it, and they said that we want you to go to Guatemala, that you're familiar with the rig, and it'll be packaged up, sent to Houston, and ship it from Houston to Guatemala. I said, okay, I was fine with that. The weather in Bolivia was not much different than it is in Oklahoma as far as the 4 seasons and such. The only thing about it, when you go from northern hemisphere to southern hemisphere, you go from the exact opposite season. So if it's summer in Oklahoma, is winter in Bolivia. When we get to Guatemala, it's a 2-season affair. It's call it the rainy season and not so rainy season. We finally get Rig 16 moved down there, and it's a helicopter lift operation. Took a helicopter to fly it into the location. Took helicopters to fly the personnel in. It was a totally different deal from Bolivia. Oh my God, I've never seen so much rain in all my life. And like you said, it was either raining or all day and all night, or it would rain all day, then the sun would come out and it'd be like 90 degrees, 100% humidity, and it's so dadgum hot you couldn't wear a slicker suit. You just had to let it rain on you, then dry out. If you didn't and you had your slicker suit on or your rain suit on, you'd absolutely melt down. So it was lesser of two evils. And mosquitoes, the giant bugs, oh my God, it was terrible there as far as the working conditions and raininess. And I went like 3 weeks without seeing the sun. It was depressing as hell. So it was tough duty down there, but I grounded out for about another 9 months. That'd be total trips. I made 9 or 10 trips to Bolivia and Guatemala. Decided that, okay, I've done this enough, and things are going really well in Oklahoma as far as drilling. So I told them I would like to finish up my duties in international and go back domestic, and they said okay. So that's what I did. So I want to wrap this one up. So I'm back in Oklahoma working domestic on the drilling rigs. Thank you for listening. I'll resume this next week. Thank you.